Chris, let me know. Hey everybody, this is Tommy Canale back here at DeMarco's Pizzeria and Wine Bar, located 9785 West Charleston Boulevard. It's where the good times roll and the wine flows. They have the best happy hour in town. They have a beautiful patio that we've been sitting at. We do this 95% of the time. Unless we get a strange weather, we are always on this patio for the Jim Feist Pro Football Handicapping Show. The man, the myth, the legend, Jim Feist. How are you? You need your microphone.
Oh, I need that. Well, I've never done this before. So
no, this is your first time on the show.
This is my first time. Good, decent. Look at that.
So your first time on the show.
First time on the show. First time with a microphone. But plus a little bit this week.
Okay.
Not great. 2-0 last week was good, or last night I should say. So that helped. And we have a couple of guests this week.
We do, and one of them sitting next to you is an experienced race and sports fix manager from the Rampart Casino, Duane Colucci. Duane, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You are welcome. And next to him is somebody who's been with us before. He won the Hilton Super Contest with the highest winning percentage at the time and is one of the best golf handicappers in the country. Brady Kannon. How are you, Brady?
Great to be back, guys. Thanks for having me again.
We don't have a lot of games to get to. We're going to talk about the 2 college football bowl games and the wild card. But before we get there, let's talk about what everybody's basically talking about, and that's all these coaching changes. So, Jim, let me go with you. We have the Ravens, the Giants, the Browns, Falcons, Titans, and Cardinals. Before we get into what I think the timeline is going to be, I'm curious on your aspect. What's the best job?
Atlanta.
Atlanta's the best job.
I think Atlanta's the best job. They have a good owner. They got some good talent there, and just you need somebody to go in there and pull it together. I think the question is, of course, do they have a quarterback that can play a full season? But I like their situation there. If you just put it together, if the quarterback doesn't work out, it could be a mess, but they might have somebody there.
Brady, you're nodding your head. You agree?
I kind of do. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think the easy answer.
Flip your mic on. I don't think your mic's on.
Jim and I both mic problems. We've never been on the air before. I kind of agree with Jim because it feels like the easy answer is Baltimore, but I don't know. I mean, people talk about, geez, how do you get rid of John Harbaugh? Well, it was 18 years.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen some decline in the last 5 years or so. Bill Belichick, some people might argue the best of all time. We saw decline. I mean, it happens, And so I thought it was a good decision. But Jim's right. And I thought Raheem Morris was maybe the worst coach in the league this year. I think he's a good coordinator, but some guys aren't built to be the CEO. And that's not an insult. I mean, you look at Wade Phillips and Norv Turner. Some of these guys are outstanding coordinators, but they can't run the whole show. Atlanta has so much talent. And for that team to win, 8 games or whatever it was, that is a shame. They've been a struggling, underachieving team for so many years. That's why they have all these first-round draft choices. And, Jim, you bring up a good point. The quarterback is a question that probably still is an area they need to improve. But otherwise, that team's loaded.
Duane, let me ask you this, because I was talking to Jim about this before we started. I read something this morning about the slow movement and where these coaches changes are going. My feeling is this. Do you think teams are sitting back because their targets are playing in the wild card this weekend and they're waiting for some of these guys to get eliminated?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, you see what the coaching pool or field is out there right now. And I think there's a lot of talent that could lose in the first round of these wild cards. And, if the offers are on the table, jobs like Atlanta, Baltimore, these are great jobs. And the Giants, too. I mean, don't ever sell them short. If Neighbors and Scadaboo could come back, you have edge pass rushers, you have Jackson Dart. So there's some good jobs available and a lot of prestigious teams that will offer big money.
Jim, let me ask you this. Do you see some more coaching vacancies coming, such as the Dolphins?
Well, they've said that they're going to stick with the coach, but I don't know that I believe anything any of them say, because when their lips are moving, they're lying. But no, I think the right situation, you could change everybody out there, because we had a very mediocre year, I would say, and that's putting it mildly. Maybe there were 15 teams, maybe even more than that were really poor in the NFL. Now that goes along with quarterbacking too, because you have a lot of young quarterbacks. But I think any coach out there, I mean, even a team like Green Bay, who hasn't lived up to expectations for a long time. And LaFleur isn't protected. Buffalo.
Tampa.
Well, definitely Tampa is one of the guys. Yeah,
That's
sure.
He's,
But Buffalo,
as a fan, he's got to go.
Buffalo's one of. I mean, they have the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion, and he can do so much. And he's Superman. I don't think they've had a great coach there as a head coach for a long time, and I think they need to make a change. So if they lose this week, I think he might be gone.
Let's get into the games this weekend. Saturday's wild card. The first one up on the docket is the Rams at the Panthers. The Rams, last time I looked, were favored by 10. Totals 46.5. Jim, I know you don't like double-digit games, but is this a place where you take the home dog?
Yes. I see 10.5 and 11. I don't know. Carolina has some big wide receivers. If Young can get them the ball, I'm not saying they're going to win the game. I think the Rams are going to win the game, but they also know that they have a big game the following week, so you might have a backdoor cover as well. So I'm not saying that Carolina's going to win the game, but I like the value of taking. Well, right now I'm seeing a lot of 11s out there, so taking 11, I think, would be the answer.
Duane, from your aspect over at the sportsbook, what kind of public money is coming in on this?
It's coming in on the Rams, obviously. We got plied with a lot of futures money as well once they started to get hot and we knew Stafford was going to stay healthy. Nakua got healthy. Now you got Devontae this week. I tell you, this is a tough game, and the matchup in the season was very difficult. But the Rams could score so quickly. You saw how they covered that last game. And if Nakua goes wild, it's going to be tough on Bryce and a lot of pressure. So I understand the public's backing, but 10.5, 11 points, I could take that at home all day.
Brady, what's your numbers tell you?
My numbers say like 15 or 16.
Really?
Yeah. There's a big discrepancy in where these teams rank in categories up and down the board. The Rams might have the best numbers of anybody in football, them and the Seahawks probably. But, I think, Duane talks about the public running to the window on the Rams. It also seems like they're going to be in every single money line parlay, right? And Jim, you kind of admit that, yeah, the Rams should win the game. So, and we know how those things go. When the boat, has too many people on it, sometimes it sinks. But I probably won't bet the game.
I kind of heard that before. I like that.
I told you last week we have so many one-liners this year. I got to go back and get them all.
I would probably actually play the favorite, but there's too many red flags for me.
Do you play teasers?
Yes, I do, and it's not a great teaser.
Would you tease the favorite of the dog here?
I would tease the favorite in a 10-point teaser.
Okay.
Okay, but a 6 or a 7 doesn't really do you any good because you're not getting lower than 3.
If we're talking to Lou Finicaro, what would he do? Because he likes those 10.3 teams.
Lou Finicaro never met a dog he didn't love. He'd be on the
he's playing a 10-point on the dog is what he's doing.
You notice he had 2 lines already?
Yeah. Jim, let's talk about the third matchup between the Packers and the Bears. Before I get into the line, let me ask you this. The Bears have lost their last 2, 3 of their last 5. Is the magic over?
No.
You don't think the magic's over? No. And it's flipped because when I think it opened Bears minus 1.5. Now it's Green Bay minus 1.5. And the total's at 45.5. So where are you at?
You got a brand new head coach. You got a young quarterback. You got talent. They can run the ball. Green Bay's been a disappointment for a lot of years. They've gotten into the playoffs a number of years in the 7th spot. Well, that's after the NFL expanded the playoffs. When they didn't have 7 teams going in, they wouldn't have made it at all. This team is on the margins each year. I don't think they're that great, honestly. I know they're getting healthy, but I like the Bears at home. By the way,
on the money line play or on the line?
Take the points. I'd see you could probably get 2. It's 1.5 everywhere, but there's some juice on the favorite. I'd probably find a 2, but I usually play money lines on short favorites, but usually take the points on the dogs. The one thing about Chicago, and I'm going to say this in general for all these teams, there's some bad weather. There's going to be some rain. You're going to possible snow, a lot of wind. And Chicago is definitely one of those spots where you can get that. And the prediction is they're going to have some bad weather. So it's going to affect this game. I don't know who's going to be affected most by it, but I take the dog here. I'd take Chicago.
Duane, you got to see money come in on both sides on this.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. Basically, did LaFleur do the right thing by not playing his starters that last week? So is it going to backfire? I don't think LaFleur is a good coach at all. I agree that he has had talent for a numerous amount of years now, and he never produces the big victories. So I like Chicago in this situation. I think that, Robinson is definitely capable of out-coaching LaFleur, and Caleb has had a fabulous season. He has, when he's pressure-filled, he's really performed well. They were the up-and-coming team going into this season, and they really played it out on the field.
Brady, what's your thoughts on the Bears overall?
I don't think either team in this matchup is very good. The Bears' defense is not good at all. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. The reason they were so successful for, say, the first 12 games of the season or so is because they forced a ton of turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the last 6 weeks, they haven't forced a lot of turnovers, and they've been losing. So if they're not forcing turnovers, they are so susceptible. We saw Jordan Love pick them apart. We saw Brock Purdy pick them apart. Just last week, the Lions, their defense, again, if they're not forcing turnovers, they can be eaten alive. And the Packers have now lost 4 in a row. I don't think either of these teams are that great. Jim, you mentioned teasers. I think this game is ripe for a teaser. Whoever's getting the 1.5, you tease them up to plus 7.5. And, find a dance partner. But that's the way I like playing this game.
Jim, let's get into Sunday and what I think is going to be, in my personal opinion, the best game of the weekend, and that's the Bills at the Jaguars. Buffalo's favored by 1. The total's 52.5. The question I have for you is, Jaguars have the best rushing defense in the NFL, but the Bills have Josh Allen. Can Josh Allen overcome what the Jaguars can do in stopping the run?
He sure can. I mean, he's an amazing player, and he's won a lot of games. Just he can do it with his feet, his arms. He is an amazing player. He doesn't have the right coach. That's number one, and he doesn't have all the players around him that he needs. With a better coach, and anybody's going to be better when you have a better line, better coach, better players around you. But he's an amazing athlete, and but you got the kid from what's his name, the quarterback. It's
Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence.
The one you don't really like.
Well,
Trevor Lawrence.
I do this year. I mean, he's been in the league like 6 years. Came out of Clemson. He was supposed to be the big guy. He never really. But now he's got this Liam Cohen, who made Baker Mayfield look pretty damn good. Just a year ago, and now, Baker didn't look all that good this year, and now we have a big change here. He's looking great, and he's very confident in himself, which he wasn't for the last few years. I like Jacksonville here. I mean, this team, they had some soft schedule spots, but they did go to Denver, and that was very impressive. They blew Denver out at home. If you can do that, I think you can hold form. And so coaching-wise, I like the home coach versus the road coach, and I can't say I like the quarterback at home versus Josh Allen, because I think Allen's different. But I think Jacksonville has the defense. I have the running game. They're playing with a lot of confidence. I don't think they should be getting points. So 1.5, 2 points at home is what I'm doing.
Duane, where do you lean?
I tell you, Jacksonville is on this big winning streak, and the schedule is really, if you look at it, they beat some quality teams. Look at all the playoff teams they beat. They beat Houston. They beat San Francisco on the road. They beat Denver. They beat San Diego, or the Chargers, LA. This is just a good schedule. They beat the Chiefs when they actually still had a little health. And, I was all over them last year to make the playoffs, and they played horrible down the stretch. Lawrence made every mistake he could possibly make. Now this year, it seems to be totally, totally different. But you're playing against Josh Allen. You're playing against a battle-tested Buffalo. This is why the game is a pick-em, and we're seeing great two-way action. This is the hardest game, in my opinion, to handicap on this board. And, I credit Buffalo. They can run the ball. They really get excited if it is adverse weather, which it shouldn't be this weekend. So I'll lean to Jacksonville, but slightly.
Brady, what's your number tell you?
My numbers come to just about exactly what it is. Buffalo by about 1.5. And I think, and I agree with all you guys. Best game on the board, it looks like. Toughest one to figure out. The total's really high. I can't wait to watch it. And this would probably be my dance partner with the Bears and the Packers. You know, if I'm teasing the Packers to +7.5, I'd probably tease Jacksonville to +7.5. That's probably how I'd handle this one.
Jim, San Francisco and Philadelphia, the Eagles are favored by 4.5. The total's at 44.5. Are the Eagles getting right at the right time?
Well, there's two answers to this game. One, the Eagles are very dangerous, and of course they are the defending champs. And they have the roster. They have the players. They know how to step up this time of year. But I'm going to tell you, there's certain times in their games they just play with their food. They just don't play. I mean, they'll play a half that looks awesome, and in the second half, they'll do nothing. It's a very strange team. I don't understand the play calling, et cetera, et cetera. But San Francisco has injuries.
Yes.
And until I know if their offensive lineman's back, if their wide receiver's back, you know, I don't know what to do with it until I know what the health is of San Francisco. If those players play, I will be on the dog getting 4.5. But when you look at this thing, opens 3.5, goes up to 4.5. I think that the betting market is saying those players aren't healthy. And but I'm going to wait and get that information.
Duane, even if the players are healthy and they're playing, San Francisco good enough to beat Philly at home right now?
I don't know, but like Jim said, you know, there's definitely been holes in Sirianni's play calling. That's definitely under scrutiny. At times, he cannot put games away, and it seems to be repetitious. Now, you look at the divisional opponent, San Francisco played a way tougher schedule. I mean, Philadelphia was feasting on a banged-up Commanders team. Giants were banged up. Dallas, you know how they are. They have no defense. So, you know, I don't know if you could go into Philadelphia and win just because of the pride and the experience. You know Jalen Hurts is going to try to get the ball to A.J. Brown. Brown's got to be happy. This is the whole thing. So they got to feed Saquon as well. I like Philly in this matchup, but it's 4.5. I mean, it's going through the roof. If some of these players come back for San Francisco, I'd like to lay a little less.
Brady, what's your thoughts?
You know, I kind of agree with Duane that the 4.5, I think we've kind of crossed over into the territory where you might be looking at the dog. I would say the number probably should be 3 or 3.5. And Jim obviously brings up the injuries to Trent Williams and Pearsall. They did not practice today. That's not a great sign. You would have to believe in a playoff game they're going to give it a go. And they will make a huge difference. I think if those guys don't play, then the Niners can't win. I do believe Philly will probably come out victorious. The 4.5 is the question. My first reaction was to take San Francisco, but right now I'm going to wait and see.
Jim, on that same game, let's go back to what you're talking about of San Francisco being healthy. And if they're not healthy, and you said Philadelphia plays with their food, can Philadelphia play with their food enough to let San Francisco in this, even if they're not healthy?
Absolutely. It's Philadelphia's play calling. Duane mentioned it. It hasn't been right. It doesn't make sense how they play. It's almost like what Baltimore did a couple of weeks ago, and they had the last 12 minutes of the game. They forgot to put Henry in the game. And after the game, and they lost the game, and they asked the coach, maybe this is
no longer there.
Who's no longer there? They asked the coach, what? Oh, yeah, maybe we could have put him in. Well, yeah, he's a high-priced guy, maybe the best in the business. What the hell was he doing sitting on the bench? You know, but here, they got the same situation here. What I think when you get to the playoffs like this, you're going to see Hurts starting to run a little bit more. That is usually the pattern. They try not to run their quarterbacks too much during the season because they get hurt. But when you get to the playoffs, they step it up a little bit. Philadelphia is very dangerous. This is a very good team that won the Super Bowl last year and demolished Kansas City. This is not a team to be taken lightly. And if San Francisco's not healthy, they're not going to win this game.
Let's get into Chargers at Patriots. New England's favored by 3.5. The total's at 46. What is your thoughts overall of the Patriots, Jim? First off, let's go there.
You keep picking on me, don't you?
I do. Well, you're next to me. You got 6 decades of experience.
You have something against me?
No, you got 6 decades of experience, so I want to hear what you have to say first.
Does that mean I'm old?
No, it means you're very wise.
Oh, very wise. Okay, got it. Well, the Chargers have offensive line problems. And they got a great coach, the Harbaugh brother. Vrabel's a great coach up in New England, done a great job with Bay. They deserve to be favored. I mean, they've done a lot. And then you got Chargers coming up there from the West Coast, which is decent weather. It's not terribly warm out here in the West Coast, but they're going to New England. It's going to be nasty there. At least be cold. If they don't get rain and snow and wind, that, it's still Wednesday, so we don't know about that on a Sunday game. But Vrabel's a good coach. Harbaugh's a good coach. Two good quarterbacks. There's definitely two good quarterbacks in this game. But the healthier team is New England. But the Chargers played a tougher schedule, in my opinion. So that's tough. And I don't know how the hell they've done it. They've played pretty damn good without an offensive line. And they've had no offensive line because they lost two of their guys. One of the guys before Slater, I think it was before the season ever started. Herbert has just done a great job. And it's a tough game. I think, honestly, if this game was if it was 4 and I see it juiced up a little bit to 3.5, 15, 3.5, 12. If it got to 4, I'd probably take a little bit, not a big play on the Chargers, but maybe this is a teaser spot on the Chargers because Harbaugh is a pretty good coach. I think he'll find a way to keep this close.
Duane, where are you seeing the money coming in?
I'm surprised that it really isn't coming in strong on New England. I mean, it's just sitting. We opened it at 3.5 at the Rampart in South Point, and it's sitting at 3.5. So we're getting good two-way action. I would probably tease the game, but I think New England is the better team in this situation just because of all the injuries to the Chargers front line. And you're going to have to protect Herbert. He's done a great job this year. The kid is just a fabulous talent, one of the best quarterbacks, up and coming that division, when you have Mahomes, the kid out in Denver, and you got Herbert. It's just, some good quarterbacks that are young and talented. But I think Drake May is the man right now. I mean, this kid has been phenomenal all year, and he's done everything right. He's made incredible throws. It's a cold weather atmosphere now. I expected the game to be already at 4.5. I like New England in this spot.
Brady, for you, how much do you take into consideration the Chargers going 3 time zones over from one side of the coast to the other and weather?
It's a factor, and I think the weather is a factor. They talk about teams that play in a dome going into weather. Although I do believe this is a veteran squad for the most part with the Chargers. Justin Herbert's been there and done that. He's played in weather like that before. So was Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh, Michigan, what have you, Indianapolis during his playing days, Chicago. I think it's a minor factor. I think the line ought to be more like 2.5 or 3. I think getting more than a field goal is a green light. Jim talked about the schedule. Schedule's become a 4-letter word for Patriots fans. They don't want to hear about it, but you can't deny it. If you look at the playoff teams that these two teams have played, New England split against playoff teams this year. They split with the Bears, and they split with the Steelers and the Panthers. The Steelers and the Panthers are the worst 2 teams in the tournament. The Chargers went 3-2 against playoff teams, beating the Broncos, the Eagles, and the Steelers. They also played the Jaguars and the Texans. The quarterbacks that the Patriots played this year, their defense, by far and away of anybody other defense in the NFL, played against backup or lousy quarterbacks. They played Geno Smith, Tua, Bryce Young, Spencer Rattler, Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, Michael Penix, Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, Brady Cook, and Quinn Ewers. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win the game, but I'm not sure if they win it by 4 points.
So look at the weather. Excellent points there. It's they're saying 36 degrees, 35 degrees in the second quarter, 35 in the third quarter. They're also saying snow or rain. And they're saying gusts, winds 7 miles an hour roughly throughout the game, but then gusts 16, 17 miles per hour. Do you think that affects the game, or is it not high enough wind to affect the game?
Well, in golf, I know that 12 miles an hour is when the players start to take notice. 12 miles an hour of wind is when golfers say, okay, this is going to affect my ball. So I would think 15, 16 is affecting a quarterback as well. But we know Jim Harbaugh and the way he likes to play football, and I think this team is really built for playoff football. They have a running game, they have a pass rush, and they have a very good defense. The Patriots haven't faced a defense this good in a long time. And the other thing is, you talk about the injuries to the offensive line. The Patriots don't have a very good pass rush. So I don't know how difficult it's going to be or how much pressure they can really put on Herbert with the lack of a pass rush. I could, again, I think the number's off a little bit as far as who wins it. I think it's a toss-up.
So you're thinking 4.5 is too high.
4.5, definitely. And I actually took a 4. I found a 4 out there and I took it. I think 3. Again, I think I wouldn't be surprised if this game closes 3.
You think that we're going to have out of these 6 games some straight up upsets? I mean, we have 6 games that are, other than the one,
Right.
the Panthers, that are pretty closely lined.
Right. So, I mean, they're all kind of toss-ups. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Jim, let's get into the Monday night game, which I would be shocked if this game is as good as the FCS championship game last Monday between Illinois State and Montana State. But we have Houston at Pittsburgh. Texans are favored by 3. I think it opened at 3.5. The total's only at 39.5. I think the Texans are a team that could continue to advance, and people just don't take a lot of notice on them. And I think they haven't been taken real serious all year by a lot of the public. What's your thoughts on them?
Fantastic defense.
They are.
Fantastic defense. They could go a long way with that defense if they can overcome the offense not performing at a high level. Now, sometimes they do perform at a high level, but, well, I don't know. When you saw that game with Pittsburgh the other night against the Ravens,
Yeah.
that was completely insane. I mean, and the record that Pittsburgh has on Monday Night Football is absolutely insane. I mean, they don't lose.
Yeah.
Tomlin, I mean, he's a very experienced coach. Rodgers is a very, very experienced quarterback. They're getting DK Metcalf back. So they're going to have the home field. They're going to have the Monday night thing. And you know it's going to be cold. It's not going to be nice. You got an indoor team playing on Monday night and on the road. And they haven't really been in this situation before. And Pittsburgh's used to it. Boy, I tell you, that's tough to overcome. And they're favored. I can't see not taking the dog. I'm sorry.
You agree, Duane? Take the dog.
Yeah, you know, it is an indoor team going outdoors. You get DK back. A lot of positives. I mean, they're riding high after the kid missed a field goal. But, I mean, CJ really played well this year, and they're a much improved team. And the defense is going to keep them in this game. I think it's a 3-point game, basically. But the outdoor factor might be the telling tale. Aaron Rodgers has all the experience in the world. Hopefully DK will be where he was. You know, he's a major factor just because he spreads open the field and makes the defense, look at different options. So this is a tough game. I have to lay off this game, but I would slightly favor Pittsburgh.
Brady, how much are you taking into consideration Pittsburgh's Monday night record?
Oh, for me, last week it was Mike Tomlin as a dog in primetime. You know, it's kind of the same thing. He's really good in that role. And yeah, last week was insane, like you said, but, you know, he did it again. And I think it means something. Pittsburgh is a tough place to play when they are the underdog, you know, and it feels to me, Duane can certainly speak to this, it feels to me like the public is all in on Houston, and I don't necessarily blame them. They're probably the better team. But we also, I believe, saw the wise guys grab the hook. It's now a strong 3. There were 3.5s out there, and they're not really out there anymore. I think if I could get 3.5 with Pittsburgh, I'd take it.
Duane, let me get into the 2 college football games. The bowl game tomorrow, the Fiesta Bowl with Miami versus Ole Miss. Miami's favored by 3.5. The total's at 52.5. First off, where are you seeing the public come in on this? And then secondly, I want to ask you, Duane, for this. I've said this all along, and I said it to Albert here last week. Miami's the most dangerous team in this tournament. I want to know if you agree.
They're very dangerous. I mean, you watch that last game. It was just so impressive. And the money is getting applied. The public has now sniffed it out. You're seeing 3.5 now. Game opened at 3. And everybody, though, is still playing that card about, Lane Kiffin and, when is this team going to fall apart? They're getting no respect week after week. And this is an SEC battle-tested team. This is a great matchup, but we are seeing a lot of Miami money. The public definitely feels that could do it in prime time, but I would definitely take 3.5 in this spot because Ole Miss just unbelievable in the last couple of games and really finished up strong despite having that coaching parity and everything lost in the locker room. That isn't the case. This is a tough game, and I'm glad that we have these Final Four teams because the handle is just off the hook, and we have the right 4 teams in this final, in my opinion.
Brady, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think Duane nailed it. I'd like to take the 3.5 too. And Miami, I have really enjoyed watching that pass rush in these first 2 playoff games for them. Boy, are they something against A&M and Ohio State. This Bain kid, boy, he is good. But, the whole country has kind of seen that. And now they're just, logging on and piling on this Miami hurricane wave, to use more aeronautical references there. Yeah, so for that reason, I'd go the other way. I think it's a little too inflated on the love for Miami right now.
How much do you like Trinidad Shambles?
God,
Oh,
Wasn't he amazing?
Great situation that he's fallen into, right?
and trying to get a 5th year back.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to get his 5th year back.
This guy is.
And how about Pete Golden? I mean, it's been fantastic what he's done. I mean, last game, I had a thing going where I can't remember if it was a money line parlay or what I had, but I'm like, okay, you give me Kirby Smart with 3 or 4 weeks to prepare against Pete Golding. I know where I'm going. This guy surprised the hell out of me, man. He's pretty good.
Duane, what's your thoughts on this Big Ten rematch between Oregon and Indiana? Indiana, the 1 seed. The Hoosiers were favored by 4. It's down to 3.5. Total at 47.5. And Cignetti, I mean, you can't get enough of this guy. The one-liners he continues to put out is off the charts. I mean, they are crazy. And he's so particular and methodical in everything he does. It's like he's 2 plays ahead of everybody.
He's a character, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
This is some matchup, I'll be honest with you. Earlier in the season, Indiana, they ran the tape. I mean, that victory against Ohio State showed everybody in the last game. And, the past game, they were just so impressive. I'm really surprised that people are not playing Indiana. I know that Oregon is much improved. I felt Oregon was the best team going into the playoffs until Indiana flexed. Now I'm a little skeptical. I'm going to sit with Oregon in my personal opinion. But, as it comes down, I don't understand the logic because Indiana has done nothing wrong at all. So why is the line moving? They beat the team by 10 already. This is a great matchup. But I like Oregon slightly. But I can understand people backing Indiana.
And Brady, it might be part of it in the first matchup. Indiana came from behind to take control of that game, and then they end up winning by 10. And I think the public's persona is thinking, well, Oregon's got the revenge factor, and Indiana's bound to lose, so they're going to jump on the Oregon side. But what's your thoughts?
Well, I also think at the same time, there's a lot of people out there that have seen Indiana, and they look like a juggernaut. I mean, how do you stop this team? But I kind of lean with Duane that maybe it's a couple, just a shade too high as far as the line. And we've seen it come down, like you guys talk about it. I think it opened 4. It's down to 3.5. I don't know if I'm going to be betting this game, but I'd probably take the 3 and a hook. I think Oregon is maybe a little better than people think.
Yeah, I won't be betting it, but I'll be watching it for sure.
Yeah.
That's a little hope.
Right. See, there's only 2 games on Thursday and Friday, the 2 bowl games. Just perfect leads us into the NFL.
They're starting to reach out to Cignetti to come to the NFL and offering big money.
Well, I heard just an interview with him the other day. They asked him about his contract extension in Indiana, and he said, it's like 11:30 at night, and I was just really getting into my routine and looking at some film, and I got a knock on the door. And the AD said, hey, we'd like to do this, and that, and extend. And he's like, yeah, okay, call my people tomorrow. I'll sign the contract. He goes, it was like a 2-minute conversation. He goes, I don't understand these people that have to have all this legalities and all that. They asked me to stay. I want to stay. I gave them a number. They gave me the number. Okay, it's done. So we move on. Any questions out there from the audience? Scott Pritchard.
I want to address Justin Herbert. He's been in 6 years.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I've made a lot of money betting against this guy for the last 6 years. Has he ever won anything, ever? I mean, look at the stats. I want to know why there's a man crush on Justin Herbert. The guy has a quarterback rating of 60. He's ranked 13th in the league. There are a lot of bad, average quarterbacks. Thoughts?
Well, I would ask this: who was his head coach before this year? Good
Sounds
question.
like an excuse.
It's either an excuse or a reason. Now,
Could it be both?
Would you like to play for Staley?
You're an NFL quarterback.
No, he's
He's
a college quarterback under Staley. You're not going to become an NFL quarterback under Staley.
So we're still blaming the coach from years ago.
Well, yeah, 50 years ago.
Yes,
absolutely.
This year, a quarterback rating of 60, 13th in a league full of average or bench quarterbacks.
I blame the lack of offensive line. What would he have done with both of those tackles, who are a couple of the best in the NFL?
So this week they're going to have Hercules. They're going to have a Herculean-like offensive line. Nothing's changed.
Well,
he's on the road.
like I said, the Patriots don't have a very good pass rush. And Justin Herbert has been pressured more than any quarterback in the NFL this year for obvious reasons. But the Patriots are not the Houston Texans or the Denver Broncos as far as pass rush. So, and I think and all the stats you bring up, absolutely, those are facts. But I think the kid has incredible talent. And he did win a Rose Bowl, by the way. So he's won that.
And May's got to stay consistent. He's got to keep that 72% completion rate, all that going. The offense has to flow through Drake May. And then you're right, Scott, but, he did play with a broken wrist. It wasn't his throwing wrist, but, Herbert's a gamer, and we saw that. Brady just mentioned Rose Bowl victory. I know that's college. I know you're right. Different animal, but tough division the kid plays in, too. Keep that in mind. Outside of the Las Vegas Raiders, that's a tough stack division for the last 6 years.
One thing you are correct about, though, and you have to measure what the history is, he's never won a really big game. So you're correct. The question is it really his fault or the circumstances he had around him? Now, you can look at, like, the kid from Lawrence, from the Jaguars. He's been around 6 years, and he came into the league as, oh, my God, he's the best thing we've ever seen. But then he had all these years of not really great coaching, and now he gets Liam Cohen. He looks like a godsend. So maybe the coaching does make a difference.
Question right here.
I'd like to get the panel on this question. The Raiders stink. We all know that.
They do?
Yes. Bottom line is they need something to basically get this organization going. I would like to see. I'm not a Raider fan. I'm a 49er fan. I would like to see the Raiders basically give a blank check to the coach for Indiana, because he's going to draft Mendoza as the number 1 draft pick, and basically go with those 2 guys. Your next pick will be probably getting an offensive line to protect everybody. But I want to see what you guys' thought is: a blank check to Signetti and your number 1 draft pick, Mendoza. So what's your feeling about that being? I know Davis does not like college coaches, but he is the best thing that could happen to the Raiders.
Well, I want to ask Scott something, because I know Scott's pretty damn sharp at betting sports. Scott, how good do you think Mendoza is?
College, great, but that doesn't automatically parlay he's going to be a stud in the NFL. Time will tell.
He's a big guy. He's an arm, but he's not mobile. So he really needs a lot of protection. And that doesn't always work, and it's hard to build a team from scratch to get the coach, the offensive line, the quarterback, the wide receivers all at one time. And the Raiders have, other than 2 players, they really don't have anything.
Well, if I'm the Raiders, you know who I call? John Gruden.
John Gruden.
That's who I call. I call
They
Gruden.
already
And say,
made
come
that
on,
mistake once.
let's go. If the shape they're in, get an experienced guy like Gruden. Hold on, Chris, you had something. Then we'll come back to you.
Yeah, you're already paying Gruden. You're paying.
Yeah, you're already paying him.
Carroll. You're paying Pierce. You're paying 4 coaches right now. So is that going to play a role in what they can go out and get next? Are they going to get a coach for only $5 million a year because they can't afford it?
You had something to add? That was it.
Yeah, my question is, okay, if it isn't Signetti, who is it then? Who are they going to go out there and
Brady's
get?
going to have a lot in that decision making too. Let's not forget the Brady factor.
Well, the Brady factor's
it's
there, but he's busy doing other different things.
It's a massive rebuild.
Randy,
It's a massive.
So big.
Is Brady really a coach? I mean, he was a great player. Not every player becomes a good coach.
That's very true.
Sometimes they're actually a negative.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what happened with the Raiders and why they fell apart and why they got the coach they got and why they got the quarterback. I don't have the inside track to all that, but it's a mess. I mean, they are a mess.
Randy, you got to just something.
I got a new topic. You guys didn't get into totals, and usually the first round of the playoffs is notorious for unders. And I'm on a couple myself. I'm just interesting if you guys like.
Do you guys like getting the totals under?
Well, we didn't talk about totals today, but I'm a total player. We talked about weather. There's also weather going on out there. A lot of the weather on the East Coast is really bad. Now, for Chicago, they might have 30-mile-an-hour gusts. They got rain, possible snow. I like all the unders on the East Coast. So, yes, I agree with you.
I like the under in Jacksonville, Randy. It's really high, and I just think the perception is, these two teams can light up a scoreboard, and that's why the number's where it is. But you know what typically happens when it looks like that, usually goes the other direction. So just for that reason, contrarian, I think I would play that one under.
Mike, you got a question?
I gave off two. I have the Eagle game under.
I like that.
And then I have the
I like the Eagle game under. I think that could definitely go under because Philly, if they start playing grinded out football, you definitely will have an under there. And even the low game, 39.5 with the Pittsburgh, that could go under because of Houston's D and Rodgers.
Randy, take a look at the weather in Chicago. It's definitely worth looking at.
Randy, and in some of my work that I do on different, radio and TV and all this stuff, the first reaction from people was, "Oh my gosh, Philly and San Francisco, I'm betting over." And I was thinking, I'll go the other way. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's kind of like the Jacksonville Buffalo thing. The first reaction is, "Oh boy, this is going to be a shootout," and I think people feel that way with Pittsburgh San Francisco and Philadelphia. So I'd probably go under in both of those.
Well, San Francisco won't score much against that defensive line unless they have their offensive line back intact and they get their wide receiver. I mean, we saw what they did against Seattle, and that was a disaster.
And how about the job Robert Saleh's done this year as the defensive coordinator for San Francisco?
Right.
He gave the Seattle Seahawks scored 13 points.
I know.
I mean, and you could argue they have a better offense than Philly. So I think the under is making more and more sense in that game.
I totally agree.
Jim, you got a question here from Mike.
Hey, Jim, you're talking about the weather in Chicago, 30-mile-an-hour winds. So doesn't that help the Bears with the run game?
Well, yeah, but it won't add up to total. I don't think the total will go very high. Yeah.
All right, here's the thing.
I like the Bears in the game.
What do you say to the Raiders? Why don't they trade Crosby and get some picks before they worry who the coach is and who the quarterback's going to be?
This is Mr. NFL asking me questions. I mean, for the last 15 years, nobody's picked any more winners than this guy. This is Mike over here.
What do you say to that? Why don't they get draft picks? Put them on a team
Absolutely.
that has a shot.
Get rid of these high-priced get some draft picks and build a team. That's what they have to do.
And the guy Mendoza, he's got experience like Nick's. That guy Moore on Oregon, he comes into whatever team, he can't jump right in. He's played 20 games. Where's he going to go in the NFL? Mendoza's the play, but will the coach come with him like he's saying? That'd be a great thing, but I don't think that coach would leave. He's making a lot of money at Indiana. Why come there?
Give up one check.
The first thing we got to do, Jim, is
Davis is cheap.
the first thing we got to do is get
I
the
agree.
team. We got to get the team back to Las Vegas because you moved them to Pahrump halfway through the season.
It is the Las Vegas Pahrump.
So we got to get them out of Pahrump and back to Las Vegas before we can actually call them we have a team here. Any final questions before we close up shop? Scott.
For Duane,
Yeah.
love you, love the Rampart, love South Point, but I'm asking you, man-to-man,
Right.
friend-to-friend,
Yes.
are you nervous? Before the playoffs started, one bet, one time, Chip was there, 30-1, $1,000 to make it holla.
You're the best.
Miami,
I mean,
Florida.
I don't sweat. I
Miami
mean,
or Florida?
you got to ask Chris. You got to ask Chris if he's sweating. I'm not sweating. I'm going to pay it out. You know that, Scott. And I got Caesars coming in around the corner, so I'm not sweating. I just love having you in the room. And, they probably will get there, but watch that Ole Miss. Watch it. It was a sharp play, but no, I'm not nervous yet.
Going back to the NFL as quarterbacks, Mike,
Yes,
there's quarterbacks on teams now that are backups
that are good.
that might be better than some of these kids coming out of college.
Mac Jones,
Mac Jones, you got
Willis.
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there's guys.
So they might be better additions to teams than what you're coming out, because they say there's not that much coming out of college.
Only a couple. That guy Simpson from Alabama. Where does he think?
Yeah,
he's going?
he just declared he was coming out.
The kid from Vandy's a clown.
He's Diego Pavia.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
But the guy,
Yeah.
the guy from Alabama, they're saying a first round. He's like a second or third.
Yeah. Chase Simpson.
Next year will be the year. Manning will come out.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these other guys, but not if they're paying them all that money. It's messing.
Well, they stay in
things up.
college, they make more money.
That's right. That's
So
right.
You're right. There's some good backups, so you got to look.
Okay.
Next week, we're going to be joined by Jay Cornegay and Aaron Rennie once again. We want to thank J. Lore for sponsoring, giving away bottles of wine. As always, we'll announce the winners after we get off the air. This is the guy right here, Jim Feist. Give a round of applause for Jim, Duane, Colucci, and Brady, Kannon, everybody. My name is Tommy Canale. We will see you guys next Wednesday back here at DeMarco's Pizzeria and Wine Bar, 9785 West Charleston Boulevard. Good luck on your bets, everyone.